How hot might it get this week?
Yeah, so not the extraordinary heights that we saw last time, so not the 40 degrees, but I think certainly the mid-30s, 35, maybe 36 degrees, which is extreme enough, is possible later in the week. And in some ways, this heat wave actually might be a little more prolonged for some of us than the last one. We're going to see quite a sustained period of temperatures above 30 degrees Celsius, perhaps a week's worth or so. Now, the high pressure is not shifting. It's keeping the fronts at bay, just brushing northwestern parts of Scotland. And interestingly, on this occasion, the hot air is not just coming in from the south, but also from an easterly direction. And that breeze will spread the heat into parts of Wales and the southwest of England as well. So some very high temperatures could be realised here through the week. Now, the morning temperatures tomorrow, 16 in London. For most of us, it's a fresher 12 or 13. But right from the word go, those temperatures will start to skyrocket across the south of the country. And you can see clear skies from the south coast through the Midlands into northern England, much of eastern Scotland and Northern Ireland, widely around 30 degrees, I think, in the southeast, more typically around the mid-20s across Yorkshire, the northeast of England, eastern parts of Scotland warming up as well. These are the forecast temperatures for Wednesday. So already we're getting widely into the low 30s across southern and central England, high 20s in the northeast, and then by Thursday we're hitting the mid-30s, so that is becoming really oppressive. Now look at Cardiff, interestingly, 33 degrees Celsius. Now this is something we very, very rarely see. Look at this Cardiff. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and the same for London, all more than 30 degrees. And in fact, 3 days of mid-30s for London. Now, our houses, the old houses in London, are not designed for this kind of heat. It is going to be so oppressive. So when is the fresher weather or the next rainfall possible? Well, we could see some showers sometime on Monday across southern areas of the UK. But at the moment, they could be very hit and miss. It's only a possibility. And just to show you that some southern parts of the UK, here's Odium, just as an example, through the whole of July and into August has had 0 millimetres of rain, zilch, nothing. Whereas the wettest part of the UK, there in Agnagart, around 250 millimetres of rain. So, yeah, we need the rainfall not just in the south, but central parts of the UK. But there has been rain in parts of the country, of course, throughout this time.
Hello, good afternoon. Some beautiful Weather Watcher pictures coming in again of all of that sunshine earlier on this morning. Of what we've got today, we are likely to keep for the rest of the week, but it will be feeling warmer. Temperatures climbing day on day, another hot spell really this week. The nights also warming up between these rather hot feeling days, so the heat wave threshold criteria will be met. So uncomfortable for many. Of course, there's no rain at all in the forecast either. High pressure dominates potentially for the next week or so.
Sally joins me now. Sally, how's this next heat wave going to compare to last month's record breaker then?
Well, there's two sides to it, really. If we take a look at this chart, this shows how warm it's going to get as we go through this week. So by Wednesday, we'll officially have heat wave territory in London. And by Friday, could be at 35 degrees. That's 95 degrees Fahrenheit. OK, so really hot. Not as hot as July when we got to 40 degrees. You also might be relieved to hear it's not going to be as humid. And those blisteringly hot nights probably won't be as bad. They were record breaking last time. Probably won't be as bad as this time. The reason why it's not quite so hot, if you're interested, is that we've got the air mass coming from the east and across the North Sea rather than up from the south from France and Spain. But what we've had this time round is the driest July on record. We've also had 6 weeks of temperatures 3 degrees above average, which is a huge amount. Look, you can see the ground in those pictures there. It's bone dry. We've already seen fires. In Callum's report, they're outside of heatwave territory, and we've got potential for further hosepipe bans. So on paper, Duncan, not as hot, but when we're talking about fires and further hosepipe bans and, of course, health warnings as well, it's not a great picture. What you probably want to know is there going to be any rain? I'll tell you more about that in a few minutes.
Sally's back. Now, dare I ask, I thought I'd never ask this, but is there ever any chance of rain?
Well, I hope there is ever a chance of rain, but probably not this week. What we need is what I had on the first day of my holiday, which, can you believe it, was drizzle from dawn till dusk, followed by 2 more days of it. We're probably possibly going to get some showers on Monday, but no guarantee. But if you're on holiday, you don't want that. So this one's for you. Hello again. I hope you're keeping well and had a good Monday. So the capital stays dry and brown and sunny. We've got some very warm days to come and that heat will be building as we go through the week. Let's just take a look at the air mass chart. You can see these deep reds becoming more dominant as the days progress. The jet stream going round the UK, so we're not bringing in those low pressure systems. Things staying dry and with high pressure very settled as well. Not quite as warm as we had it in July and a little bit cooler out to the coast, but still some pretty hot temperatures to come. Sunshine may be a little bit hazy at times, but the temperatures perhaps just a degree up. It could peak at 29 or 30 degrees tomorrow, except towards the east coast and maybe along the Thames estuary, where with an easterly flow, it might actually be a little bit less warm tomorrow. We have got very high UV in that sunshine. And then to end your Tuesday, no real change. A nice warm evening, maybe a touch of cloud, but also plenty of long sunny spells as well. And then how about that for an outlook? Don't often see that. Plenty of sunshine, those golden medallions, and you can see the temperatures both by day and by night on the climb as we go through the week. That is your full forecast for now.
It looks like quite an interesting week, Darren.
Well, more of the same almost, really, across the UK. I'm sure many people will be in search of the beach, if they possibly can, in order to cool down a little bit. Here in Pembrokeshire, the temperatures were in the mid-20s today. It's been hotter elsewhere across the UK, and the heat is going to continue to build over the coming few days. Heat wave developing across much of the UK, spreading into much of the UK. And, of course, with that heat, it's going to be dry as well. The heat is building underneath another area of high pressure. This has been the story of the summer, really. And we've still got weather fronts just flirting with the far northwest of Scotland. But the heat is building underneath that high pressure. We're drawing in some heat from continental Europe as well. So temperatures will rise very quickly across the UK on Wednesday. It's across the Midlands, southern England and southeastern parts of Wales. The temperatures are likely to reach 32 degrees, which is 90 Fahrenheit. You can see how long the heat is going to last, for example, in Cardiff and London, right the way through the weekend. Temperatures over 30 degrees. It's not going to be quite as hot for Scotland and Northern Ireland, and over the weekend temperatures here may start to drop away a little. A lot of people are asking, when is it going to rain? Maybe it's going to rain early next week. Pressure is going to be dropping, temperatures will be falling as well, and we have the chance of some rain. Hugh.
Fingers crossed, Darren. Thanks very much.
And expect to see more misty sunrises like this in the days ahead. Your full forecast coming up in about 20 minutes.
Well, Becky's joined us in the studio to cast a bit more light on this hot, dry spell. So what's causing this?
Well, there are actually three main reasons that we're having such a prolonged hot and dry spell. So let's go through them fairly slowly then. Well, we are expecting to see high pressure continuing to dominate, and that's definitely what we've got at the moment. So high pressure, as you can see, really dominating the picture, and essentially this is keeping at bay these rain-bearing frontal systems, and it's stopping them crossing the UK, and that really is blocking the advance, and that's why we're getting much more in the way of rain across the northwestern parts of Scotland. The second reason is this: the position of that area of high pressure is really dragging in that hot air moving in from the near continent. You can see by these darker reds and pink tones, and they're continuing to move in across the UK over the next few days. And you see the sequence, and the darker those colours get. Now, the third reason is because it's a return to your GCSE science lesson. It's about evaporation. Now, as humans, when we sweat, we cool down because a lot of our heat energy is lost during the process of evaporation. Of course, the Earth doesn't sweat, of course. Usually a good amount of the sun's heat is taken up with that same evaporation process, moisture in the ground evaporating and therefore lowering the temperature. Well, there's barely any moisture left in the ground now, so that cooling process just can't happen. Instead, it's just a relentless build-up of heat from the sun, and that process, I'm afraid, is going to continue for the rest of the week.
OK, but till the rest of the week, but is there any respite at all in sight in that case?
Actually, yes, there is. Potentially, across southwestern parts, in about a week's time, we're likely to see thundery showers, which have a limited impact and are a little bit helpful, but also that central area of high pressure drifting away, and that should open the doors to the Atlantic and finally let some rain in.
OK, Becky, thanks very much for that. And we're seeing you later, right?
Yes, you are.
As you can see, Becky's joined us in the studio once again. And earlier, Becca, we were talking about those weather warnings that have been put in place. So presumably, I think it's fair to say it's going to be sunshine all week, right?
Yes, you're hired, Charlene. My work here is done. Yes, absolutely. And of course, there has been quite a lot of doom and gloom about the weather at the moment. Of course, in terms of the climate story, the rising temperatures, the impact and the downsides of this weather. But the flip side of that coin is that there are an awful lot of children who are on summer holidays at the moment. And this, I have to say, is very usable weather as a parent, because you know that you can go outside and not have to dress your children ready for rain. So let's have a look at some gorgeous pictures around across the UK. This one was taken at Wrexham earlier this morning. And this sort of really misty picture is something that you see quite a lot at the moment. There's not much moisture around, but there is always a little bit of moisture in the air, and that condenses overnight as the temperatures drop. And then this is the beautiful views that you get first thing in the morning. The harvest, of course, has come very early this year, the earliest in many people's memory, and the harvest in East Suffolk is well and truly in, as you can see by the straw bales. And let's have a look at the next picture, please. There we go. People keeping cool in the water, in and around the water, and certainly that's what we need at the moment, because as Charlene said, we are going to continue to see this very warm weather for the rest of the week. Don't forget, of course, that the UV levels are extremely high at the moment. So although we're not necessarily abroad on a holiday, the sunshine is just as strong here. So slip, snap, slop with the old sun cream, of course. And of course, stay in the shade, drink lots of water. Let's have a look at the forecast, although there are no prizes for guessing what's in it. Let's have a look. So yes, absolutely glorious summer holiday weather on offer for you, particularly if you're having a staycation. You will be cheering at the forecast for the week. So this week it is, of course, hot and sunny, high pressure firmly in control. Some rain for the far north and northwestern parts of Scotland for a time, but then even you're going to be turning dry as well. And then we jump ahead to Wednesday. And it's a case of spot the difference. We are expecting it to be a dry day for far northern parts of Scotland. You'll get some sunshine as well, and you definitely deserve it after all that rain. But towards the south, temperatures again on the rise, up at around 30 or 31. Briefly ahead to the next few days, medallions of sunshine and rising temperatures. So there's certainly, as parents, very usable weather in the forecast over the next few days, as long as they don't burn.
And to use your phrase, slip, slop, slap.
Something like that.
Sunblock.
I told you you were hired.
Thanks very much, Becky.
Hello, it's been quite a hot day today, and over the next few days the temperatures will continue to rise. Our heat wave will probably peak towards the end of the week and into the weekend.
Hello, thank you very much to Lou. Well, as you probably heard, we are expecting a heat wave across the capital. Heat wave defined here as 3 consecutive days over 28 degrees Celsius. And of course, today it was 29 degrees in a good few spots. Of course, London looking very lovely in all of the blue sky and the sunshine at the moment. And we'll be keeping those sunny skies for the rest of the week. There's our boat yet again. Now, the grass is very dry. It's going to stay dry as we head through the rest of the week. Possibly a few showers in the forecast as we head into the start of next week. But until then, just not a drop of rain at all. And any rain next week won't be enough to sort that grass out either. So heat building throughout the week. Temperatures climbing day on day. Of course, it's still dry. Now, Wednesday, again, much of a muchness. The map's not doing very much, is it? Neither is the weather, apart from the temperatures, 30, 31 degrees Celsius in quite a few spots, I think, on Wednesday. And just look at those temperatures come up as we head through Thursday and Friday. We could see 34 or 35 degrees Celsius. That's going to be uncomfortably hot again for some. And, of course, there'll be some very warm nights in between. Maybe, as I said, a few thundery showers as we go into the start of next week, just to try and sort that grass out, to Lou.
For now, from all of the team, have a very good evening. Bye-bye.